This is a video you are not going to want to miss if you're an ATEM Mini ISO user. So either you've got the ATEM Mini Pro ISO or the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. I'm going to show you how you can go into that DaVinci file that the ISO creates and then use that to make adjustments to your shot. So maybe you want to punch into a shot and crop in, or maybe you want to reposition one because you didn't quite get it right on the live. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can just make adjustments to one clip and then apply it to all the other times automatically that it's been used on the timeline, so you don't have to individually select and make an adjustment and then go to the next time that that clip was used and do the same thing over and over again. You just do it once and apply it to the rest of the timeline. Let's get into the tutorial, but before I do make sure you hit the subscribe button, because if you do own an ATEM ISO, so either the Pro ISO or the Extreme ISO, and you edit on DaVinci, I'm going to turn this into a bit of a mini series giving lots of top tips and tricks that I've learned for both of those products. So if you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. But let's get into the tutorial. So I've got one of my recording folders here from the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. You can see we've got the program output files here. We've got the audio source files, the ISO files from the ATEM Mini Extreme. But what we actually want to do is open up the DaVinci file here. And in DaVinci, I've got my multicam timeline here from my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. This was a 4-camera shoot. And actually, the way that this particular shot was framed is a perfect example of when you might need to do this. So if I apply the graphics here, you'll see we had this L-shaped graphic, and that means we actually had to frame the cameras to accommodate for that. So I want to do an edit which doesn't have the graphics on, but if I left the camera framing like this, it just looks off. You know, especially if we cut to like this shot, he's framed too much to the left-hand side. So we would want to adjust those. Now, if you were to do it manually, what you'd have to do is go through and find, you know, make the adjustment, let's say on this clip, and then go through and find every other time that this clip is in the timeline and apply that adjustment to it. And it would take hours, especially as if we zoom out here, you can see it was an hour-long show. There's multiple cuts. It would take a very long time. Now, in DaVinci, when you record on the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, the clips are linked, but only in the color page. So you'll see, like if we go over to color here, you can see there's this little arrow down here, this little pink arrow that shows me every time that that clip, this particular angle, which was camera number 2, has been used. And if we make any adjustments to any one of these, let's say we want to apply a grade to camera number 2. So we'll just do a new serial node here and do a very wacky color grade. You can see now that it's applied it to every single time that that camera has been used on the timeline. So if we go back to the edit page here, there's that wacky grade there, and then it further on the timeline is applied. So the clips are linked in the color page, but they're not linked in the edit page. So it means it makes it very hard to make adjustments like zooming in or positioning once and then applying it to the clips. But that's what I'm going to show you. So let me just get rid of this horrible grade here. So we will delete the node and put that back to normal. Now, if we go to the edit page here, what we want to do is we want to single out this one angle. I'm going to start with this one angle here. So the easiest way to do that is actually if we go over to the media page, and then we select, this was camera 2 that we want to work with, and select the clip, right-hand click on it, and we're going to go down to clip color here. And we're actually going to choose a clip color for it. I'll go with orange in this case. And now if we flick back to the edit page, what we'll see is in the timeline, we can see everywhere that that particular angle was used is now marked in orange. Blue's the default color, so that's why the rest are in blue. But there it is. Now, of course, if you wanted to, manually, you could select all these orange ones, click on all the orange ones and select them and then make the adjustment. But what we're going to do is an even quicker way. We're going to make the adjustment on the first clip here. So I'm just going to click on the clip and then go to our transform tools up here, and we'll just do a little bit of a zoom in, maybe angle them over to, let's say, here a little bit, give them a bit more headroom, something like that. I'm doing it very rough. And we've got our adjustment that we're happy with now for this camera. But you'll see if we go to any other clip, it's the old version. It hasn't been applied to all of the other clips. It's just on this first one that we've changed. So what we want to do is we actually want to click on the clip that we changed, and we want to copy those settings to the clipboard. And to do that, it's as simple as Control C or Command C on a Mac. I'll use Command C as I'm on a Mac. So we've copied those to the clipboard there. And now to select all the other clips, all we need to do is we've got to go up to Timeline at the top and then select or choose Select Clips with Clip Color here. And in this case, we're going to choose orange. And it will automatically select all the times that that orange clip appears in the timeline. And then we can go up to Edit, up at the top, go to Paste Attributes, and we'll actually manually select, so these won't usually be selected. We'll select Zoom because that's what we changed, and we'll select Position. And we can see here how many clips it's going to apply to. So in this case, it's going to apply to 94 clips. Hit Apply, and now when we go to and choose any other clip in the timeline, it's applied it to that, or of that angle, it's applied it to that angle. It hasn't changed any of the other angles. You can see these are completely unchanged here. It's just applied it to those orange clips, which we've said is camera number 2 in this case. Now, if you wanted to do this to another camera angle, exactly the same thing, you could just make sure you set it as a different clip color. If you set 2 as the same, this won't work. Each different angle needs its own clip color. So this is a really easy way to quickly make adjustments to a camera angle, whether you need to crop into an area or maybe you just need to reposition things slightly. Maybe you want to change the rotation of a shot slightly because you had your camera not quite level. This would be a really easy way to do it on one clip and then apply it to all of the other times that that clip has been used in your multicam edit. Now, as we're talking about DaVinci Resolve and large video files, it's probably a good time to talk about storage. QNAP creates a wide variety of network attached storage devices. A NAS, as they're known in short, is a bit like a giant hard drive that stores all of your data in one safe and central location, but it's connected to your network. So multiple people and devices can access and work from it at the same time, whether that be from home, in your office, or remotely from anywhere in the world. They offer a wide range of features like 10 gigabit Ethernet and Thunderbolt 3 connectivity for blisteringly fast file transfers and a whole host of apps too, like my personal favorite, the hybrid backup and sync app, which will automatically take care of regularly backing up your data either locally or to the cloud. QNAP's NASes are scalable and flexible. You purchase the size of the NAS you need and then populate it with whatever hard drive sizes you require. Take my QNAP for example. I've got 5 of Western Digital's Red Plus 12 terabyte hard drives that give me a total of 60 terabytes worth of storage. Plenty for all my video editing projects. If you want to find out more about my NAS setup and how it has completely changed the way I work, check out my video linked in the description below. There's also a link to QNAP's website below so you can check out their range of fantastic NASes in more detail. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I've got another DaVinci related video on the way and it's a really interesting one. I'm going to be showing you how you can utilize the graphics that you used in your live stream, how you can bring them in and work with them with DaVinci. It's a question I've seen a lot, and especially if you use key and fill graphics, so that maybe you use something like a Blackmagic Ultra Studio to get key and fill graphics into your ATEM. It's really hard to work with them in DaVinci afterwards, but I've found a way and I'm going to show you it. So make sure you hit subscribe if you want to see that and future videos as well. If you have any questions about today's video, get in the comments, put them down there. I will check through and read through them and reply to as many of them as possible. Also, if you have suggestions for future videos, put them in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up because it really helps here on YouTube. And finally, if you've got a particular question about your ATEM setup or how it can work with DaVinci, my email address is on screen now. You can pop me an email and we will set up a one-to-one consulting session. I'll go through all of that with you. And once you've done all that, guys, I will see you on the next video.